Here at TFL we make you a promise. You saw it here first, and that is exactly the case today, because behind me is the all-new 2020 Ford Explorer, and I'm here near Portland, Oregon at the First Drive event. It's my first opportunity to get hands-on and show you the new Explorer. It's also the ST, the high-performance version. It has the most power and it's the quickest one of them all. And in this video I'm going to show you all the features and what makes it the $60,000 Explorer. Let's take a quick step back and just look at the history of the Explorer. The first generation was available in 1991. This, for 2020, is now the sixth generation of the Explorer. It has been a best-selling SUV in its segment over its history, and Ford really needs to get this one right in order to remain competitive in an ever more crowded segment. The guys at Ford tell me that styling is actually one of the most important attributes for the Explorer. So they completely redesigned it. They switched platforms. They went away from the front wheelbase platform of the previous generation to this rear wheel drive biased platform. And that allowed them to stretch the wheelbase, use a variety of engines, a 10-speed automatic transmission, but also make the car longer, a little bit more sleek, and more stylish. Although in the front this is kind of not my bag. Let me know what you think about the styling of the new Explorer. But it's not all style, it's also function, of course. Aerodynamics is a big part of it, and there's an air inlet here that vents inside the wheel well to keep the air kind of hugging the crossover a little bit more for better stability. My first impression on the inside is a mixed one. At first I really liked how fresh and new this Explorer looks. I'm talking about the new steering wheel design, the dashboard layout, the center console, the seats, everything. But then there's this vertical tablet, which is the center infotainment screen. It looks a little bit odd because it's a little bit too vertical for my taste and just kind of stuck out there. But it contains the latest Sync 3 system, and it's really easy to use. It's a touch screen with your nav, your home, your audio, and all of the latest features. One thing you don't get for 60,000 bucks in the new Explorer ST are actually struts for the hood. You still get a little handy dandy prop stick to hold up the hood, but it's what underneath that really matters. And in this case, it's the new updated 3-liter twin turbocharged EcoBoost V6 with a rating of 400 horsepower and 415 pound-feet of torque. This is the most powerful engine option you can get currently in 2020 for the Explorer. It's made it to a 10-speed automatic transmission, and all STs are all-wheel drive. And fuel economy is not yet available for this particular model. Here are some stats on the Explorer ST. 5.5 seconds 0 to 60. According to Ford, the quickest ST ever built. 143 mile an hour top speed. And by the way, that acceleration time is quicker than a Dodge Durango RT, which is 6.2 seconds. If you remember the Ford Focus ST, that acceleration was 5.9. Of course, the ST model is not just about the engine, it's also about the suspension and the handling of the overall SUV. And for 2019, the previous gen had the Sport model, which was very popular. That model is no longer available for 2020, but the ST takes its place, and according to Ford, it takes the performance to the next level. Look at these puppies. On this Explorer ST, these are optional 21-inch wheels, and they're wrapped in Pirelli Scorpion tires. This is a high-performance all-season tire. Ford says later on, a Michelin summer-only tire will also be available on the ST for a little bit more performance. You're also getting a high-performance brake package here on the ST with red calipers, which tells other people there's something special underneath. There's a total of 4 engine options on the new Explorer. It all starts with a 2.3 liter updated straight 4 turbocharged engine with 300 horsepower. Then you can step up to a 3 liter twin turbo V6 turbocharged engine with 365 horsepower. Of course, this is the ST with 400 horsepower version of that engine. There's also a brand new hybrid which uses a 3.3 liter naturally aspirated V6 and an electric motor for a combined 318 horsepower. But that is a whole other story. I'll do a separate video on the hybrid. When the new Lincoln Navigator came on the scene a couple of years ago, introduced a new way to control your drive modes with high quality graphics, and they're now here in the 2020 Explorer. So currently I'm in the normal mode, and it gives you kind of a feeling of what you're doing when you switch between them. Green for eco, sport for high performance, especially in the ST. Of course, there's also towing. Boom, I guess it's all about gears. But there's also an off-road mode. There's one for slippery conditions in the winter, one for trail running. Of course, deep snow and sand. In this high-performance ST version, the intelligent four-wheel drive system is performance biased. It can transfer up to 100% of torque to the rear axle or split it 50-50 front to rear. There is no locking center differential. There is a clutch pack basically that adjusts torque front and back. Of course, there is an electric parking brake here, but you might be wondering, what is this hand symbol and why is it trying to wave to us? Well, this is a button for auto hold. When you're on a hill, when the system is enabled, it'll prevent the vehicle from rolling backwards, for example, when you're starting up a steep hill. This model also comes with hill descent control right here. This is not crawl control, but it will help you descend a hill at very low speed. There's a way to access the 360-degree camera, pointing forward in this case. If you're in reverse, same thing happens in reverse. Although I do wish that the real estate for the camera view was actually larger and a little bit more high definition. You could also line up your trailer using the rear guidelines. I'm just over 6'2" and I'm sitting behind myself. I have pretty good, decent legroom, although legroom didn't change much from the previous generation Explorer. Headroom didn't change much either, although the roof is more sloping. But if I do stretch out, I start touching the roof. Yes, it does have a gigantic panoramic roof. If you are a little bit less than 6'2" or a kid, this would be a perfect place to be, especially in these captain chairs with armrests and actually a passageway here to get to the third row. I need to get back there. Okay, getting back in the third row, there's just a smidge more legroom here than in the previous Explorer, but it's really for smaller people because my knees are way up high. Although I have pretty decent headroom, I wouldn't want to spend a lot of time back here. The new Explorer is rated to tow up to 5,600 pounds when you get the 3-liter V6 turbocharged engine. And when I first heard that the Explorer is switching to a rear-wheel drive platform, I thought it's going to be capable of towing a lot more. But what Ford tells me is that 5,600 pounds is actually really competitive in the class, and this is what customers in this segment require. If you want to tow more, there's always the Ford Expedition. When you get the towing package, yes, you still get your 7-pin and the 4-pin trailer connectors, but you do not get an integrated trailer brake controller, although an aftermarket one will fit quite nicely. This 3-row family crossover segment is getting more and more competitive by the minute. Of course, the Explorer competes against the likes of the Toyota Highlander, the Honda Pilot, but now it's rear-wheel drive, so it also competes against the Dodge Durango, which can actually tow a lot more than this Explorer right here. Of course, there's many other competitors from GM, also Kia and Hyundai. So this happened to me. I walked up to the back of the Explorer and I was looking for the hatch release here, but there's actually a little arrow that points to it. You just push the button, boom, the hatch is open. Now what about cargo capacity? Well, behind the third row, the cargo volume actually decreased slightly from 21 in the previous Explorer to 18.2 in this current 2020 model. But of course you can fold the third row down to reveal more space actually behind the second row. The cargo space is over 47 cubic feet now. And if you fold the second row of seats, the total cargo volume is now 87.8 cubic feet, which is about 6 cubic feet more than before. There is no question about it, the new 2020 Explorer is moving up market. Eventually there will be a base Explorer that starts at about $400 more than the outgoing model. Alright, that's around $33,000. Okay, the XLT starts at almost $37,000 for a rear-wheel drive Explorer. Then you can move up to a Limited at about $48,000. The ST starts at about $54,000. This one is almost $60,000, and of course there's a Platinum at the very top of the luxury segment for the Explorer, and that starts at $58,000. So this thing is encroaching on the premium SUV segment. So you're getting a slightly bigger interior space for passengers, you're getting way more power, you're getting way more technology and safety features, but you're also paying a lot more for the new Explorer. And go back to tflcar.com for more news, views and real-world car reviews, and you will see a lot more on the 2020 Ford Explorer on our channel very soon.